All right, Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Racha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Um, Back again with another, update. Hey, as everybody's eyes are on this coronavirus situation. All right, not to mention you still have, this tension in the Middle East going on. All right, this WW3, all right, hasn't stopped brewing. Okay, the Most High still got his angels over there prepping things and setting it up for that great destruction that's to come. All right, here it is. Now they're saying Russia, all right, they're labeling Russia as worse than what, ISIS or so. Okay, I saw an article headline like that. But nonetheless, let's read this real quick. All right, because this is all part of prophecy. And if you're paying attention to prophecy, look, the Lord got it set up to where once they institute this chip, everything is going to move faster, man, until that destruction. So the Lord is making sure everything is put in place. He got the angels everywhere. Each angel, each group is set up to make sure everything goes according to plan. All right. So the ones who are orchestrating this whole thing with the war, all right, putting different thoughts into the minds of these world leaders, they all doing what they got to do perfectly to where everything goes in line. All right. So it says it's the Persian Gulf, not Gulf of New York. Rouhani schools U.S. as Iranian military tells America to prepare for harder slap. Because over there that's how they do it. They do it with the slaps. And when they tell you like you want to eat a beating or you want to eat a slap, like that's how they. But hey, nonetheless, that's the spirit they got. And as you can see in the beginning of the year, what happened? Just because a virus came in the middle does not mean that the U.S. and Iran overnight became best friends. No, the way the Lord has set it up is the more the tensions rip, they stay that way. And the only thing that can happen next is for it to get worse and worse and worse. All right. So it says, American forces will get a heavy response if they cause trouble in a Gulf that is historically linked to Persia, not to the U.S. Tehran has warned a week after Trump vowed to shoot and destroy its ships in the troubled waters. Because that's what, remember, Trump said, if the Iranian forces harass any of basically U.S. interests, they should, he gave the order to shoot and destroy them. Well, this is what Tehran is saying. You see, if you notice, Tehran, Russia, a lot of these different, even China, they always take the defense role. Whenever it comes to these things, they don't want to strike first, but they do tell you that we will defend because if, for prophecy's sake, if they were to strike first, this war would have been popped off already. But there needs to be other prophecies that are fulfilled before that. All right, the martial law, the famines, the FEMA camps, the microchipping. Okay, look, man. Once they bring that chip, man, that's it. That's it. To hell with your condition afterwards, man. It's gonna be for only a short period of time. Once they institute that chip and make it mandatory, we as good as home. All right, because the destruction will follow soon after. Even if it doesn't look like it right at the moment, trust and believe it'll follow soon after. Okay, whether you have to be homeless for a couple weeks or months, however long it is, the Lord will provide for you and give you the strength. Damn sure not years, but the Lord will provide for you and give you the strength, okay, to make it through. All right. So it says Iran's president Hassan Rouhani has needled Washington once again by recalling Middle Eastern toponymy in a recent speech to his cabinet, local media reported on Wednesday. The Americans would know, or the Americans should know, that this waterway is called the Persian Gulf. It is not called the New York Gulf or the Washington Gulf, rightfully so. He told a cabinet session earlier in the day, the U.S. should take into account both its name and the nation that has preserved it for thousands of years, Rouhani as I'm guessing I should say advised. The president's sarcastic comments almost coincided with bellicose remarks by Brigadier General Abolfazl Shekarchi, senior spokesman of Iran's military. It says even the slightest infringement against Iranian interest in the Gulf will cause the U.S. to pay a price. The general exclaimed, The Americans have certainly experienced this in the past, that they will receive a harder slap than before, he threatened. You know? Now, don't this, like I said, this is all adding this. You know what this is? Whenever you hear more and more updates of, World War III and all those things, that's just more and more ingredients being added to the dish. You know, if you're trying to, make something, you got to put the first ingredients, maybe the onions, tomatoes in there, let that fry for a while, and then after a while, another ingredient will come, and you put that in there. After a while, you put another one. After a while, you put another one. That's what you see happening. You know, and when the time is ready, the food will be ready. But right now, these updates are like different ingredients that you're adding at different times, okay, as the food gets closer to being prepared. You add the spices, you add the salt. If you're making soup, obviously you'll add water first. You see, so all these different things are set, all right. But we know, once again, until that chip is made mandatory, this World War III will not pop off, okay. That's why the Lord has them at restraints. They go back and forth, almost to the verge of fighting, like boxers. When before they have that fight and they do that, they come in each other's face and all that, talking all that shit, almost like they're about to fight. Sometimes a mini fight will break out, but they don't fully get to fight just before until they get into the ring. All right. So it says, the Iranian general then took aim at President Donald Trump's recent warning that his forces would destroy Iranian gunboats if they harass American ships in the Persian Gulf. The U.S. Commander-in-Chief's escapade, he suggested, was nothing but psychological warfare intended to win voter support. It says, Iran, which occupies the eastern shores of the Persian Gulf and overlooks the strategic Strait of Hormuz, a hugely important passageway for oil tankers and merchant shipping, has long insisted the United States does not belong in the region, which it doesn't. It says the trouble, but U.S. likes to stick their nose in a lot of places where they don't belong. Here it is, they putting their hands in different places that it's not supposed to be, until one of their fingers gets smashed. And that's what's going to happen. But then that's everybody else's fault. Here it is, you in everybody's business. You dipping some here, 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 until somebody says we don't want you here. Then they're the ultimate villain. It says the troubled waters saw another flare-up of tensions last week when the U.S. Fifth Fleet accused the Iranian Navy of carrying out dangerous and provocative maneuvers at close range that put U.S. vessels at risk. Well, what were you doing there in the first place? You gonna come to my house and then tell me I'm putting your life at risk? I'm being too dangerous in my own house. Why are you here? What are you doing here? It says a video record of the standoff, however, wasn't as dramatic as the U.S. Navy statement has suggested. Yeah, there's more. It says the U.S. and Iranian navies have faced off against each other multiple times in recent years, both employing coercive tactics, but always stopping short of a military confrontation, you see? And as a matter of fact, that leads me to this precept. I wasn't originally going to get it, but I'll get it now. Revelation 7. Okay. Revelation 7 and 2. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power. And he cried with a loud voice to the four angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. Why did I bring this out? Because if they were to allow these nations to go to war, right, like it says here, but always stopping short of a military confrontation, that would lead to nuclear destruction. All right, and that would what? That would be the hurting that is spoken about in Revelation the 7th chapter. So the Lord had it to where no matter how close they come to going to war, they always stop short, because this still needs to be fully fulfilled, man. The servants being sealed in their foreheads and the other prophecies prior leading up to World War III. But nonetheless, this war will happen and there will be no escape. All right, if you're not of the elect. This is Zephaniah 1 and 14. The great day of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, is near. It is near and hasteth greatly. Hasteth meaning it's coming fast. All right, it's hurrying up. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. All right. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. So, you don't expect to see sunshine and beautiful green grass everywhere. No, more like blood, bloody red skies, the smell of death and burning, and some more death with a side of death. Because that's all it's gonna be, man. A lot of destruction. Because the Lord is angry. And he's gonna destroy those that made him angry. Verse 16, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. And America is a number one fenced city, okay, which think they can never be touched. They think that they're invincible, their military, their nuclear defense systems, and all those different things. You're not prepared to defend against the Lord, I'll tell you that much. And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men. All right, meaning having no direction, not knowing what to do. When they show you in a movie, let's say people, who monitor the nuclear missiles and all those different things, and they get the alert that there's a whole armada of missiles coming their way, and then they going crazy. They looking left, right, left, right. Yo, what do we do? Left, right. They don't know where to go. They run here, then they stop. Then they run here, then they stop. Almost like they can't see where they're going. It says, because they have sinned against the Lord, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Okay, because that's a metaphor for how much death there's gonna be. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. You're not gonna pay nuclear missiles off. You're not gonna pay the Russians off. You're not gonna pay the Iranians off, and you're not gonna pay the Lord off. You're not gonna pay off his angels, and you're not gonna pay off his men. It says, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. What is the fire of his jealousy? Those nuclear missiles. All right. Not a realm where you burn forever called hell. That doesn't exist. It's talking about the nuclear missiles, man. For he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. And that's why when the missiles start hitting, it'll only take 1 hour to completely obliterate this place, man. To make America a desert from New York to California. All right. Now I'm gonna get this one more. All right, because like it says, damn, where was it? Yeah, it says because they have sinned against the Lord. Okay. Now this is Revelation chapter 18. Should be here. Yep. This is Revelation 18:4. It says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people. Who? Come out of Babylon. All right. That ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. And what is one of those plagues? We just read it in Zephaniah 1 and 17 and 18. All right. That fire of the Lord's jealousy. Okay. To make a speedy riddance of the land. So when the Lord said, come out of her, my people, that's going to be him literally delivering his elect up out of different parts of the world, but mainly out of Babylon, all right, aka America. That's how we're gonna survive these nuclear missiles. That's why when we see the chariots, we don't get scared. We get excited and we rejoice, because we know that is our way out. They're gonna come down within range and they're gonna beam us up into them, and that's how we're gonna survive this nuclear destruction that's coming to this place. All right. It says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities. And that's why it says here, neither their, Zephaniah 1 and 18, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. All right. For he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. Okay. That's the prophecy, man. So when we see things like this, we already know what's going to happen at the end of it all, man. Okay. But this is just another step closer, all right, to that prophecy. Okay. So with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord's willing, this was edifying and informative to the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah Kudash. Until next time, Shalom.